start off with our breathing. Today's breath is going to be about kumbhaka, breath retention. So you're going to slowly inhale through your nose, and then you want to try and hold it for, well, let's make it 8 counts, but luckily for you it's your count, so you can lengthen it or shorten it depending on how quickly you want to count. And then a very slow exhale. We're wanting to feel that retention, sort of like a suspended breath, so it's not like you're holding it and like, but rather like a, okay, sitting here, sitting here, sitting here, and then when it's time to release, it's just a very relaxed deflation. Alrighty, so I'll take you through 2 rounds, and then like I said, you continue at your own pace. Hands can be on your knees or in your lap. Sit up nice and long so that you can get a lot of air into your lungs. And we'll start off breathing in through the nose. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and start exhaling. In through the nose. Sorry, we lost connection there, guys. We're starting in through the nose again. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale through your mouth. In through the nose, and you continue at your own pace, retaining for your own count of 8. One last round. And allow your breathing to return to normal. We're going to come onto our knees. And all we're going to do is just warm up the lower back while activating our abdominal muscles. So you're going to grab a hold of your knees. I'm going to turn to my side so you can see me as well on this, from this angle. So we're going to hold onto our knees. First, we're going to extend the spine and the chest forward, but you keep the belly lifted. So we're going into an arch, but keeping your tummy strong. Then we're turning into a round bolomakisi, pulling the tummy back as well as the sternum back. Forward into that arch. And back into a rounded bolomakisi. Forward into the arch. Rounded into a bolomakisi. Forward into our arch. Rounded into our bolomakisi. Into our arch, bolomakisi, into an arch, bolomakisi. In this bolomakisi, I want you to now grab a good hold of your knees, and you're going to pull your sternum even further back. Now you should feel a stretch happening across your shoulder blades and up your neck. Keep sucking your belly back, don't let it chill here. You're pulling backwards. And release. Sit up straight and start rotating your shoulders. First in very small round movements. Rotating them backwards. Now we're going to start getting a little bit bigger. And more and larger. Really pulling your shoulders up towards your ears and down again. Now we start rotating them forwards. First little tiny movements. Getting a little bit bigger. Much bigger. Getting up towards the ears. And release. Now we're going to pull our shoulders up towards our ears, tight, 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 and then just completely drop them. Like we're not using any muscles to take them down. Up, up, up towards the ears, and then just drop. Up towards the ears, and just drop. Up towards the ears, and just drop. Beautiful. Now we're coming back into this hip area. I want you to tuck the hips under, feel the belly pulling backwards. And then I want you to extend your arms up towards the ceiling, bringing your hands together in a prayer position. Don't allow yourself to go into an arch as your arms extend. Keep those coccyx pulling down towards the floor. Keep remembering to breathe. And bring your hands into prayer position. From there, we're going to open our knees out. So we're creating a bit of space. I'm going to turn forward so you can see. Knees are open out so that we've got a bit of going to be creating a bit of resistance for us to stretch open the shoulders again. So make sure that your tummy is tucked under and lifted, and we're going to first take our right hand and grab no, I'm lying to you. Turn your right hand palm facing out, outside of your left knee. Then your left hand is coming on top of the right arm, and that knee is grabbed. Now you want to make sure that your right hand doesn't move, so it's holding against the knee, but your left hand is going to pull against your knee, trying to twist you towards that right leg. And this you should feel across the front of your arms, or the top of your shoulders. Remember to keep your belly lifted, tucking your hips under. Gently release, and now the left hand is going to go towards the right knee, the palm facing outwards. The right hand is coming over the left to grab the left knee. Now you're pulling your body towards your left knee, but preventing it by holding steady in your right hand. Pull, and again you should feel it across the top of your shoulders. And we go back to the first set again. So our left hand is facing palms out with our right knee. Our left hand, I'm getting confused. Right hand is at the left knee. Left hand is coming over to the right knee. We pull our bodies towards that right knee, keeping resistance with our left hand. Release, and we swap over again. So now our left hand is coming to the right knee, palm facing out. Right hand is coming over, grabbing the left knee, and we're pulling our body towards that left knee, but the resistance is being held by our right hand and our left hand and right knee. Release both hands, and now what we're going to do is have both palms facing outwards as our body leans further forward. So you get your arms into position, doesn't matter which one is at the bottom, which one is at the top, because we'll swap, and then you're sort of sliding them down the legs as you lean forward. Come up, swap the hands around, and exactly the same idea, letting them slide down the knees as you lean forward. And up we come. So I'm just turning, so we're staying on our knees. Closing them slightly so that they're not as wide open as they were. Then we're going to take our right hand to grab the left knee as we take our left hand, scooping up, feel like it's being pulled long away from us, all the way up and over. We lean gently towards the left bum cheek and feel our left arm being pulled over. So you should be feeling the side stretch going into the QL, up the back, up the outer sides of the shoulders, and then down the shoulders and down the arm. Remember, you want to keep your belly lifted. So if you're finding yourself going into an arch, take a moment to take a breath in and then push your exhale out. And that gives you your bolamikisi. and release. And now we're taking our left hand over to the right knee. The right hand comes up like it's being pulled long. We're pulling it over towards the left, and then our bum cheek gently leans into that right leg. Again, to get that bola makisi, you breathe in and out. And gently come up. Now, sitting on our knees, we're thinking about that lovely bola makisi. So we're going to take our arms out in front of us, and we're just going to push the air away, imagining that you're turning into that bola makisi over and over. But we're using our breath this time. So we take a breath in, and then out, pushing the tummy. Release, in, push out. Release, in, push out, release, in, push out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and release. Take your hands to the floor behind you. Your fingers are facing forward towards your bum. But you're going to start off with releasing your left hand. You're swooping it up as your hips come forward. You want to push these hips forward, squeezing your bum muscles and taking your arm up and behind you, stretching on. Make sure you're not hanging your bum down. You must squeeze and push the hips forward. And release down. Place your left hand down. Take your right, swoop it around and lift, pushing the hips forward. Release. Place your right hand down, swoop your left around and push your hips forward. Release. Left hand down, right hand swirls around and push your hips forward. Down, right hand down, left hand swoops, push your hips forward. Release, left hand down, right hand swoops around, push your hips forward. Drop your bum onto your feet and come back into your seated position. Remember to tuck these hips under, lifting the belly, pulling it back. And this one we also want to pull our sternum back as we move down towards the floor, but I'll remind you in a moment. So we're going to interlace our hands behind our back. Make sure your shoulders are rotated into their sockets and pulling gently down. Lift your arms as far as you can, maybe not as far, in betweensies. Make sure you're lifting in the hips. If you're staying arched and you come down, your head's too far from your knees, then it's also terrible positioning. You want to tuck the hips under, lift in the belly, and we're going to take our knees, or rather our chest, down towards our knees, tucking our head towards the floor. So our head is now right next to our knees on the floor with our arms up in the air. Remember to breathe in and out, keeping your belly lifted, pushing your arms towards your head, stretching out the shoulders and the arms and the neck. Feel yourself lifted in the belly as you slowly come up, releasing the arms. And we're going to just gently drop onto our bum, legs extended in front of us. Again, we're making sure that our belly is lifted and our hips are tucked under. The legs are gently pushing down towards the ground, making sure that the knees are turning slightly outwards. We don't want them leaning in, and we don't want the legs completely passive in this stance. We want to be pushing gently down. Arms being pulled up high towards the ceiling, lifting in the belly. Imagine you've got a ball in front of you and we're lifting up and over it. Lift up and over, and you grab your feet, your ankles, your calves, whatever makes you more comfortable. And remember, the sternum feels like it's being pulled towards the ankles rather than your head trying to touch your legs. Try and pull yourself a little bit deeper into the stretch. Very slowly release. Rotate the left leg and tuck our foot up next to our bum. Not under the bum, but next to it. In this position, we're going to gently lean back to get a stretch in that left leg quad muscle. Make sure you're lifting in your belly, tucking your hips under, and then slowly lowering yourself to the floor. If you feel quite comfortable on your elbows, you can try and drop all the way to the floor. Just make sure that the knee doesn't rise up with you. That knee needs to keep pushing down. You need to keep pushing your hips forward so the bum is active in this position. Keep pushing the hips forward. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest, keeping the knee down on the floor, belly lifted, hips pushing forward. We're going to take a deep breath in and exhale with gusto. Just feeling this tummy working a little bit more. Deep breath in, out with gusto. Deep breath in, out with gusto. Deep breath in, out, in, out, and gently release your hands onto the floor. Slowly come up. As you've come up, sitting nice, you're going to take your arms up into the air, reaching long, and lean forward to grab your toe, your ankle, your calf, whatever's comfortable for you. Make sure you're keeping lifted in the belly, tucking your hips under, and sternum is being pulled towards your ankle. Gently come up. We're going to place our right hand on our left knee, and then we're going to place our left hand behind us, tucking our hips under, squeezing the bum to push those hips forward. We're going to start twisting towards the left. Keep sucking your belly back. And gently release. Bring this left knee up. We're just going to flex and point the foot a bit in case the ankle took a little bit of strain being sat on for a bit. Now we're going to bring that left knee up towards our chest. You're keeping it right in line with your chest or bosom. And then we're grabbing our left foot with our right hand. And we're pulling it towards the right shoulder. But we're not pulling it all the way up into our happy baby position, but sort of a halfway midpoint. From here, we're just going to move the leg backwards and forwards. Well, maybe side to side is a better description. Side to side. Loosening our hips and our glutes. Then we're going to take our right hand and grab the outside of that left foot. You're going to take your left hand and place it behind you to lean. Make sure you're tucking your hips under, lifting in the belly. And we're going to start straightening this leg. Our aim is not to straighten it. I don't want you to straighten it fully. I want there to be a slight bend, and I want you to be pushing your foot into that hand. So if you start shaking, you're like, yeah, releasing trauma. But don't straighten it. I want it at a bend point. Pushing that foot into your hand. Then pull that foot over towards the right. Still pushing that foot into your hand. Gently bend the left knee back in, and we're going to bend the right knee, but it must be just hanging out to the side. Then still holding this left foot with our right hand, we're letting it turn out sideways, and we're moving it again, backwards and forwards, or side to side. Now we're going to grab our left foot with our left hand. Place your right hand on the floor. And again, you're trying to attempt to straighten it, but you're not. And the knee is turning outwards away from you. So now we're going into sort of side quad muscles. Just pushing and releasing, pushing and releasing, pushing and releasing. And then push at your max point. If your leg shakes, that's good. Releasing trauma. Don't straighten it. Don't fully straighten it. You just want to be pushing against that hand. And bend that left knee and allow it to straighten down in front of you. Now we've got to remember everything that we did with the left side and do it with the right side. Okay, so we're going to bring our right foot up towards our right bum cheek. Again, remember to tuck your hips under, lifting in the belly, and we gently start lying back. Keeping the knee on the floor. If you're comfortable here, you stay on your elbows. If you can go for a deeper stretch, you drop down and lie on the floor. Make sure that the hips are tucking under and the knee isn't lifting off the floor but pushing down. Hands can come to your belly and your chest again. And let's begin that breathing again. So it's in and then out with gusto. So in we go, out with gusto. Really feeling the tummy. In and out with gusto. In, out, in, out, in, out. Release the hands. Keep pushing the hips forward, stretching out your quad. And gently we come up. Make sure you're keeping your belly lifted, hips tucked under, arms pull up high towards the ceiling, pulling along, tucking those coccyx under, and we reach up and over to grab your toes, your ankle, your calf, whichever you can reach comfortably, and pull your sternum towards your ankle. Try not to think about your head to your shin. Gently come up. This knee comes undone, and you pull this knee close in towards your chest. We're going to take our left hand to grab the right foot, and we're going to start pulling it up towards the left shoulder, but we're not aiming to get it into the crook of our elbow like we usually would. And then we're going to just send it sideways, backwards, forwards. You know what I mean. From here, we're going to start leaning on our right hand, telling you the truth. Gone blank. Okay, and then we're going to start pulling that foot up. I think I've lied to you, have I? No, it's grabbing on the outside of the foot. That's why I'm feeling confused. Make sure you're lifting your belly, tucking your hips under. This leg is, or your foot rather, is pushing into your hand, so it mustn't straighten up. It must keep that like push resistance happening. If the leg starts shaking, you're doing it right. If it doesn't shake, you're also doing it right. You're fine. Start pulling it across your body. And then bend that knee back in towards your chest. And we're going to bend our left knee and let it drop out to the side. Again, just moving our leg backwards and forwards, side to side. Now we're going to grab our right inside foot with our right hand as we lean back on our left. And again, push forward. We're not trying to straighten it. Just pushing and bending, pushing and bending, pushing and bending. Find your max point and just push. Again, not straightening the leg, just creating that tension point. And release. Bring your feet into your Baddha Konasana position. Tuck the hips under. You're squeezing your bum to pull the knees down towards the floor. You can interlace your fingers around your toes, and you think about pulling your sternum down towards your feet. Make sure you squeeze the bum, trying to pull these knees close towards the floor as you lean forward. Sternum a bit closer, bouncing a little bit backwards and forwards, creating a slight ballistic stretch movement. And then you're going to keep holding on to your toes with your right hand, and you're going to push your left hand into your left knee, but you're like pushing your body away so that you're stretching out the side of the body, but you're also turning your chest towards that left knee, if that makes sense. Push that knee away, and it goes into sort of into the side hip, up the side of your body. Keep your belly lifted, keep sucking it back towards the spine. And swap hands. Now your left hand is grabbing onto your toes, your right hand is pushing that right knee down, and then you're allowing your body to pull towards the right, pushing that knee away from you. Gently release. Send your Baddha Konasana legs out a little bit wider, tucking your hips under, lifting long and straight in your body. Start leaning towards your feet. Try and drop a little bit deeper into the posture. Gently come up, bringing your knees together. Okay, we're going to work on some tummy exercises. So we're trying to get a sort of balance point of where your coccyx are. So you're kind of trying to find your comfy bum fat spot, if that makes sense. So you want to tuck the hips under again and find where is a bit of like a stable position. And then we're going to lift one leg, bringing the knee towards the chest, sucking the belly. You're pulling that belly towards your spine, and lift the other leg towards the chest. So now it's quite close. So this is quite an easy position. Easy in terms of what else we're going to be doing, okay? So from here, your arms are going out straight. You want your spine to be nice and long. You're not hunching over in this position, but lengthened shoulders are in their sockets. Then you're going to pay attention to your point of strength. So when I say that, if we're going to go backwards, straightening our legs away from us, but if you feel you get to this point here, and this is as far as you can go before you just completely collapse, that's the point you go to. If you can go deeper, you go deeper. If you can't go as deep, you go less deep, as long as you're finding that point where your strength is, and then you're coming back up. So I'll show you again. Tucking hips under, lifting knees to chest, arms out. We're trying to drop towards the floor, keeping belly tucked, and then coming back up. So like I said, if you can only go there and then come back up, that's your perfect point. That's all you have to do. If you can go deeper, hold it, keeping tummy tucked, and back up. Down, back up, down, back up, down, back up. Hold your knees close towards your chest. Feet are still off the floor, so you're holding onto that, playing with your balance again. Now remember this nice bulimikisi feeling. So we're going to start rolling back and then coming back up. That as we come back up, your legs open and you go into your Baddha Konasana position, chest trying to come down to your feet again. So I'll show you one before we start. So we roll back, come back up, feet together. Roll back, feet together. Just going to move slightly forward. Roll back, feet together, 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 back, feet together. And now we're going to roll back into Halasana. So if you haven't done it before, keep rolling. You're using your hands to push and help propel your bum up. Feet going towards the floor, sucking belly back, lifting bum up. Try not to have your chin right up against your chest, and you keep it lifted so there's a bit of space. Interlace your fingers and feel them pulling down away from you. Bring your knees towards your forehead. And allow yourself to come and roll all the way back up so that you're holding your knees again. Coming to your easy seat position. We're again going to place our right hand on our left knee. we're twisting towards that left knee, dropping our body towards the right. So you really want to feel your arm pulling you towards that left knee. And up we come, turning our left hand onto the right knee. We're dropping our body towards the left knee and pulling our body or sternum towards the right. And gently come back up. Staying in easy seat, so I'm just turning to the side so you can watch. You're trying to get your knees as close to the ground as you can, but keeping your hips tucked, belly lifted, and you're slowly going to bring your chest towards the floor. Hands are on the floor. If you are quite stiff and you sit over like this, it's fine, it's not an issue. You just go at your level and you keep trying to go deeper and deeper, keeping the bum on the floor. So you're keeping your coccyx tucked under, lifting in the belly. Keep trying to walk a little bit more forward. Stretching your arms out. Crawl your hands away a little bit more, trying to get a stretch in your arms. And then keeping your hands where they are, you want to lift more in your belly, feeling like you're trying to pull yourself back up, and then release. Lift in the belly, trying to pull yourself back up, and release. You should feel a deeper stretch going across your shoulders and up your neck. Pull the belly up, release. Pull the belly up, release. Pull the belly up, release. Now we're going to take our right hand and needle it through the left arm, trying to get your shoulder onto the floor. It's okay if it doesn't reach there. You're really just trying to crawl that right arm away from you, twisting towards it. Crawl your left hand further up, again trying to deepen the stretch, lifting the belly. Bring that right hand back up, straighten up next to your left hand. And then needle the left hand through, crawling it away, trying to get a deeper stretch, and then crawling the right hand up higher to get a deeper stretch. Bring the left hand back up next to the right one. Feel them being pulled a little bit longer. And then use that same thing in the tummy, like you're trying to lift yourself. So you're tucking the belly up, and do start pulling your hands up, back, so that you're in a seated position. From here, we're going to lift in the belly, placing our hands out in front of us, so that we can lift up onto those hands and unravel the legs out into all fours position. There we go. Couldn't think of it there. Place your hands a little bit more forward than under your shoulders. You've tucked your toes, you're lifting in the belly and up into your downward facing dog. Remember to rotate these shoulders into their sockets and make sure that they're pulling down your back as opposed to up towards your ears. extend the legs and start walking the dog to stretch out your calf muscles. Now let's hold the stretch on the left calf. Try and go a bit deeper. And then let's go over to the right calf. Stretch out in your downward facing dog and come forward into your plank position and bring your right knee up towards your right elbow and the ankle towards the left. Bring your bum down, sliding your back leg away from you so you're in your pigeon position, and come onto your forearms. Make sure your belly is staying lifted and you're not dropping everything. You tuck the hips under, you lift under your armpits, and you allow your bum to stretch nicely on the right side. Come back up onto your hands and try and lift your foot a little bit higher to allow yourself to go into a little bit more deeper stretch. Come back up onto your elbows, or down onto your elbows rather. Back up onto your hands, tuck your back toe, lift up into your downward facing dog, stretch out, and then bring the left knee to the left elbow, the ankle to the right, place it down and walk your back foot away from you. Coming down onto your elbows, keeping your belly lifted in the armpits and stretching out your bum muscle. Up, try and pull that foot a little bit higher just to get a little bit deeper into your bum, and come back down onto your forearms. Drop onto your left bum cheek, bring your foot around and come sit in your normal seated position. All we're going to do now is just a very quick neck exercise. So with touch, just by touching, you're bringing awareness to your body. So I'm wanting us to bring awareness, but it's a gentle pinching of the neck muscles. So you've got these jugular muscles here, and you're just going to pinch up, and down, 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 up, and down, 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 down. Pinch up and down, 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 down. Then at the back, you're going to do the same. You're just trying to pinch. I know it gets a little bit harder up the back, but you're just bringing awareness to the neck muscles. Even if you start sort of pushing them, it's bringing awareness to these areas. Go up to the occipitals at the back, back down, pushing around. Wherever you hold tension in your neck, give a little bit of extra attention to. And wiggle it out, wiggle it out. Okay, if you needed to derobe at any point, pop your warm clothes back on. You can do our relaxation seated or lying down. If you want to grab a blankie or a pillow, you can do so. And let's begin. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel as your body relaxes with those deep exhales. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Allow your body to just start sinking into your mat, relaxing all the muscles in the body. Feel your spine relax onto the mat, your bum let go of tension. Notice with your legs, calves or feet are holding any tension, and allow them to just relax. Notice if your shoulders are still holding tension, and allow them to relax. Allow the arms, the elbows, the forearms and your hands to completely release any tension. Notice if your neck is holding any tension and release. Notice if your face is still holding tension, if your eyes are clenching slightly, if your eyebrows are frowning, and just allow your face to relax completely. Imagine that every time you breathe, you're bringing in a lightness to your body. A soft, relaxed feeling that just starts to pour through your entire being. Every breath bringing in more peace, more lightness, more relaxation. Notice your mind and whether it's trying to drag you off into all weird and wonderful thoughts. And then just thank it and bring your awareness back to your breath. This time, choose to follow an imaginative thought that comes up in your mind. Allow this moment to be a moment of creation. create something in your mind's eye that delights you, that fills you up with happiness. Whether it's a picture, whether you create a scenario, a place, an adventure, allow your imagination to step in for a while. Allow your breath to inflate this creativity. Each breath allows you to create something more, add more details, add more light into your expression. And with your next breath, start bringing your awareness back to just your breathing, leaving the fun and the creativity just at the edge of your awareness, possibly to visit again at a later stage, or to help you to tap into your creativity in your everyday life. And just notice the air coming in and out of your nose, the movement of your chest as you inhale and exhale, the feeling that your body experiences as you breathe. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, keeping your eyes closed, bring your knees up towards your chest. Spread your hands out to the side and take both knees over to the left in a spinal twist. And take them over to the right. Bring your knees back up to your chest and allow them to help you to come up to a seated position. And we'll just do one closing Om. Your hands can be on your knees, went to your heart center. Take a deep breath in. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.